Hello, RoahmMythril here once again with a bit of an update and announcement video just to let everyone know what's been going on. Playing a bit of Pac-Man in the background here. I just kind of felt like something simple and retro, and with Thanksgiving coming up, a game about eating everything in sight kind of works. So let's get right to it. Okay, first major announcement, I'm probably not going to do much of a December break this year. Obviously, we are nearing the end of November. It got here a bit faster than I really expected it to, honestly. November this year has pretty much just been the month of everything happening at once on my end. A lot of it has involved room renovations and cleaning. So yeah, that's been keeping me very, very busy. First it was a matter of getting a new TV installed in my room. Now we're talking about the internet router and modem going in my room. Getting my own receiver for Dish Network so I can watch whatever I want in my room. That'd be rather nice, but yeah, it involves a lot of cleanup in my room, so I've been very painfully busy lately. Also, the endgame of Pokemon Emerald has taken me longer than I really expected it to. I've been having to level grind my team more than I thought I would. Right now my team is at level 65. I had hoped that'd be enough, but man, they do not mess around. My average practice run of the Elite Four, at level 65, I can usually get past the first 3 without too much trouble. Drake tends to be a bit of a coin flip, depending on what the RNG wants to do to me. It either goes very well or very, very badly. Barely got that. But then if I get past Drake, Wallace just obliterates me. It always goes horribly. So, yeah, I have to do a bit more level grinding there. I may have to go up to level 70. Hopefully that'll be enough. I mean, you do what you gotta do, but yeah. I really was not expecting to have to do quite as much level grinding as I'm doing right now. And even after I finish the Elite Four, there are some extras in the game I want to show, things like what hidden bases are all about, Pokemon contests, all that sort of thing. So yeah, there are some extras I want to show, so there is still a bit of life in that LP. Also, after I finished that LP, I had promised the creator of Mega Man Rock Force that I was going to post the blind run I had recorded of his game. I had actually recorded it quite some time ago. I had first received the game near around the same time that Unlimited was released. And so I was, at the time I was busy uploading that, and then it just became more projects and more projects. Blast! Pincer attack! But in the interim, there's actually something that came up with the game itself, a bit of a music dispute. The original song that was used in, I think it was the Terror Man stage, it was originally made for another Mega Man fan game that got cancelled. I think it was Time Tangent? But the music had been put on a free-to-use music site, and so the creator of Rock Force had used that song. In the time after I had recorded my blind run, a bit of a dispute came up with it. The creator of that song had removed it from the site. They had decided they wanted to release an album of their music, and they wanted to use that song on the album. Yeah, no getting around that one. But as such, we're not quite sure where the copyright of that stands. He had tried to get in touch with the composer, but hasn't heard back from him, so we really don't know what's going on there. Later versions of the game, that song was replaced. So, you know, for people LPing it at this point, it shouldn't be a problem. But, you know, as far as my blind run goes, I'm probably going to have to actually silence the audio in that stage just to be on the safe side and just record post-commentary. Which is a bit of a shame, but again, you do what you gotta do. So, you know, that's where that is. I promised him I'd get that posted as soon as Emerald was finished, so projects really right now are just... there are way too many of them for me to take my usual December break. Updates in December are going to be a bit more sporadic, but I'm going to keep recording and posting things, and, you know, we'll see how it goes. Get out of the way, I want that orange. Yummy! I may instead go on a January break next year, if I just really still feel like I need a break. I may end up just feeling like pushing through and continuing on with stuff. Again, we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear. So, next major announcement, site updates. This is something I know I have been horribly, terribly remiss in. I got way out of the habit of doing my usual weekly site updates, and bad habits are just really hard to break. I think it first started up at a time when I was dealing with a lot of stress and depression. It's honestly something I deal with pretty commonly. Normally I'm pretty good about, having a handle on it and, just dealing with it and moving on with stuff. But there are times that it hits pretty badly and I just really don't feel like doing anything, and I think that's what really happened there. It is something I definitely need to get back in the habit of doing, so it's gonna kind of be a resolution of mine to get back in the habits of doing my weekly site updates, even if I don't really have much to upload or to say in the updates, just to get back in the habit of it, basically. Something that will definitely help is if, people are a bit more mindful about the rules of submitting fan art. It makes less work on my end, and makes it feel a bit less overwhelming to have to go through it all. Because if people send in things that don't adhere to those rules, it means I have to go and re-edit a bunch of stuff, resize things, reformat things, and so it becomes a bigger job than it really needs to be if people can just follow those rules. The basic rules are, first off, make sure that it's either a GIF, a JPEG, or a PNG. Those are the only formats I can upload. Coppermine used to allow for bitmaps, but it doesn't anymore. Bugger, couldn't outrun you. So close. But yeah, so those are the only three formats that I can actually upload to the gallery. Second, try and make sure the image is less than a megabyte in file size, and also try and keep it under 2000 by 2000 pixels. Because, honestly, that is still pretty bloody huge. It doesn't really need to be that big. Things that have a lot of small text I can understand, like sprite comics or whatever, but still, try and keep it within those dimensions. It still gives you plenty of room to work with, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue. Also, when you send... Wow. I didn't expect the blue one to just suddenly go for me like that. Okay, anyway, when you send in fan art, please be sure to mention the name you want to go by in the gallery. Bear in mind, a lot of people send things in, and I don't trust my memory, neither should you. So just, even if you've sent things in before, make sure you mention what name you want to go by. It makes things a lot easier. I don't have to go hunting through my email to see if you've sent something in before, and if so, what name you used then. It just makes things a lot easier, makes the updates go a lot smoother. Also, I do kind of need to crack down a bit on, what all I accept. There are some things that seem more like it would be better if if some artists had, like, their own DeviantArt page or whatever and uploaded there. Things like, OCs or whatever, that... I hate putting it this way because it always sounds so conceited to me, but, generally, if you're going to send fan art, if you're going to send fan art to me, it should have something to do with what I do. Things like original character robot masters or what have you, those are kind of a gray area. I usually accept those just because I think it's interesting to see what ideas people have. But overall, I do need to crack down a bit on that. It's something I've been a bit too lenient about over the years, and it really got out of hand sometimes. So, yeah, it is definitely something I always appreciate when people send something to me to enjoy. They do not want me to have that strawberry. It's a shame. It looks delicious. But yeah, I don't get paid to do this. I do not qualify for a partnership. So, I basically just do all this for fun, and all I ask for in return is patience. So, it means a lot to me when people send me fan art just to show their appreciation for what I do. I've also had fans that have been nice enough to send me new games for my collection. That's always appreciated, so I have, more stuff to enjoy in my downtime. And definitely the big one, the very, very big one, is viewers and fans that have sent in donations to my family. They've donated money to my mom's PayPal account. That is always appreciated. That goes straight to my family. I don't keep any of that. It helps out with bills, groceries, just, whatever we need the extra cash for around here. And it has helped us out a lot and continues to do so. So my most sincere thanks to everyone who has donated to us. I greatly appreciate that. Okay, so to wrap things up here, on a lighter note, talking about Pokemon X and Y, and my collection of Friend Safari codes, my collection is actually growing quite nicely to where I have access to most things available in the Friend Safari. There are relatively few things I still need. So, one thing is there are some Pokemon... I didn't quite get to the pill in time. Bugger! So yeah, I think I've heard that to find hidden abilities on Pokemon, it has to be a Safari where all 3 Pokemon are available. And some of the ones that I have Pokemon on, unfortunately, it's not a complete Safari. So anyway, here are the ones that I am still missing. If anybody has codes that can give me any of these, I would greatly appreciate it. For electric types, I am missing Electrode. For rock, I am missing Nosepass. I'm missing the most in water, actually. I'm missing Krabby, Gyarados, and Panpour. Ground, I'm just missing Gastrodon. Ice, I'm missing Beartic and Cloyster. Dragon, I'm missing Shelgon. And Fairy, here we hit an interesting point. I'm missing 3 colors of Floette. Because I've noticed that whatever color of Floette you find in your Safari, it is locked into that color. I have them for blue and yellow. I'm not sure if there are Safaris that contain red, orange, or white, but it'd be nice to have those if there is such a thing. Other Pokemon that appear in the Safaris and have extra forms, I don't think it really matters as much. Gastrodon, I think so far in X and Y, only the pink and brown one, the West Sea variant, is currently available. I don't think you can get the East Sea one. Vivian, it doesn't matter what form Vivian takes in the original person who gave you the Safari in their game. It always defaults to whatever your Vivian is. So no matter who gives me a Vivian Safari, mine will always be modern type. Pyroar, you find both genders in the Safari. You'll find both male and female. You don't have to have a separate Safari for each. And then there's the mystery of Sawsbuck. Anytime I've seen Sawsbuck or Deerling in X and Y, it has always been in spring form. So I don't know if there's a way to get the other forms or not, which is kind of weird. It's just such a bizarre thing. Hey, let's introduce this Pokemon that uses the gimmick of seasons that we introduced, that we put in this game. Oh, whoops, new game that doesn't have seasons. Never mind. Kind of weird planning, that. But, so, yeah, that's pretty much where things are. That's about all I have to cover. So, with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope to get back to Pokemon Emerald soon. Hopefully level 70 will be good enough to get everyone through. Delicious apple, but it cost me. So hopefully I can get back to that soon. Happy holidays to everyone coming up. Happy Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate it, happy, what is it, November 29th this year? Another delicious apple that cost me. That is always my problem playing Pac-Man. I get so greedy going for the fruit targets. Always get trapped doing that. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well. Can I make it? Can I make it? Barely!